meet the players, and this is one of the major players, Archaeopteryx. That means ancient wing. Archaeopteryx superstar. Because, watch closely. In 1830 through 1833, Charles Lyell wrote Principles of Geology in 3 volumes. Took 3 years to release all of them. In that, he introduced a concept we know as uniformitarianism. Uniformitarianism is the idea that the slow rate we see things accumulating today, the slow rate that we see rocks forming or dirt accumulating, can be extrapolated. Now that's a fancy word meaning can be projected back so that if the rocks we see, and many of these are thousands of feet thick in layers, if the rocks and the coal beds we see were formed by this uniformitarian process, that the present is the key to the past, that there's been no cataclysmic operation like a flood you referred to, but there has been a worldwide flood. So he ignored that completely, convinced academia worldwide that the earth was extremely old, that the rate of processes today have always been the same in the past. Not so. Evidence shows that's not so. But he was influential in forming the mindset of a young guy named Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin then, in 1859, decades later, released his book, Origin of Species by Natural Selection. It took the academic world by storm. First edition sold out in a matter of hours, in a single day. That was a point in history when the populace in Europe was fed up with a lot that had been going on in the religious world. And class, I'm here to admit that a lot of things that go on in the religious world are not necessarily good or proper, scientific or scriptural. So there was a pendulum swing, and the time was ripe. So Charles Darwin introduced his book, his first book, Origin of Species by Natural Selection, 1859. And he used Charles Lyell's background concept for that. And then he postulated some concepts that have never been demonstrated till this very day. But the world was ready, especially Europe. They were tired of being bossed by a theological community, which sometimes didn't know what he was talking about. This is supposed to be the missing link. To museum curators, write paleontologists Lowell Dingus and Timothy Rowe, the name Archaeopteryx rings like that of Rembrandt, Stradivarius, or Michelangelo. In the words of Alan Fiducia, the Berlin Archaeopteryx may well be the most important natural history specimen in existence. Beyond doubt, it is the most widely known and illustrated fossil animal. So there's a photograph of the original. Here is a reproduction. They are identical. So you can see very readily that it has a tail. It has a beak. You can't see the teeth there, but you'll be able to see some later. It has the wing, the formation of the feathers impressed. It has claws on the wings. Oh, well, maybe birds did descend from dinosaurs. Maybe we're the ones who've been off track. Well, stay tuned. That's not the end of the story.